Hi, this is Gurasi Singh, and you're listening to my Thick Accent podcast. Welcome back to the ones who are here for the part two of my conversation with Parul, and the ones who are new here. Welcome to the community. And to listen to the part one of the conversation, you can check out the episode 41. I'll put link to that in the show notes as well. Let's pivot towards your Canadian journey then. You moved here in 2013, but before that, you wanted to study abroad, but the BCA degree wasn't of that much value for you to do the masters, right? But then you came to Concordia University on a special admission. Tell us about that and how did that happen?
So actually, I'm working on the story of my life part two, where I am going to share much more details
Okay.
with visuals, but I can give you a quick overview here.
Of course.
So I'm keeping it for my next release. It's one of the most awaited videos that I promise everyone once we cross 300,000 subscribers. So I'm working on it. In Canada, if you want to study, you must have bachelor's in technology if you want to go for master's in technology, right? So when I was studying, I googled just like everyone else, how can I go to Canada? What are my chances? I posted on various forums. At that time, YouTube was not a big thing. You don't get much help like these days. You have the visuals and everything. I tried my best, but I actually didn't get anything. They were like not eligible. No, no, not happening. And I just wanted to have something in cybersecurity. So when we were in Malaysia, and I'm talking about that phase of presentations in 2013, an opportunity came to me where I am invited for masters with an exception, because when I was offered, hey, you want to study masters? You seem like smart. It's like in my heart, I wanted to study.
Yeah.
But if we talk about what's happening around, I don't want to leave all this, right? But then in my heart, I also know that if I don't train myself further, all these challenging questions that are coming in are going to fail me badly at one point. I'm not able to, answer these questions. So in future, it's going to be worse.
Yeah.
I had invitation for masters from most of the colleges and universities I was presenting at during my conferences in India. But I personally knew that if I take them, I'm not going to learn anything. They are offering me admission and scholarship because they want me to be on board, and basically help them with the promotions. They know that this guy is going places. It's going to help the college and
They
university,
knew
right?
you were a good
And
candidate.
they knew that this will bring something positive to
Yeah.
us. And same goes for me also. They were offering me free scholarship. And when I was presenting in Malaysia also, I got an offer from University of Utara, Malaysia, for PhD program and master's fast track with no fee, nothing. But I really didn't wanted to study in Malaysia at that point, because I knew that things, the books, those courses are all coming from Europe and US. But again, I'm not eligible to study, so I was never exploring that idea. Anyways,
Okay.
I gave my try, it didn't work. Okay, let's continue and see what happens. But then when this opportunity came, I told them, hey, I don't have a bachelor's in engineering. I don't think I'm qualified for masters.
Yeah.
They said, we'll make it work. We'll talk to the dean. We'll make it work. You don't need to have a bachelor's. Are you okay to come? And then I was like, even if you make it work, I don't have the money. It's $40,000, $50,000 fee. Uh, how I'm going to manage that?
Yeah.
And it's a big amount. They were like, we'll make it work that too. We'll try to work out on something. We'll do some interviews. If it all works out, we will give you a scholarship. Then it kicked my head a little bit. I was like, okay, this is a great opportunity. And they said there is a school that is offering masters in cybersecurity in Canada, Concordia, the only university right now who's offering this masters, quite exclusive. I'm getting opportunity to get in. So I did my mathematics. I talked to my, I am not good at maths, by the way, but when you know
Yeah.
the things in my life don't add up, I know. I get I'm
I
good
like
at
that.
that part. So if I talk like in real language, not good at maths, but definitely I know when shit doesn't add up. So I know that this thing wasn't adding up. Okay. So I talked to my family, and they were like, they were always there. They were like, we want you to go if you want to study. If this is something that you can do, and it will help you to learn, go for it. But I was like, I will leave all this, whatever I have done, and I'll
Mm,
become an average student like everyone else. I don't want to live that life.
mm,
And being very clear, I was very proud of what I was doing, and I wanted to, feel more pampered, and just like this, I'm going to events and everything. I don't want to go back to school.
yeah.
It's boring because I don't like to study.
Mhm,
I want to do this. And they told me, you can do this always, but you cannot do that later,
mm,
a year later or 2 years later. Go there and then come back and do whatever you were doing in a better way.
mm,
These things are not going away. They said you are going to do this again in a good fashion, but you will be more smarter. And I was always hungry to learn more and be more smart,
yeah.
because I always thought that I am not smart enough. Even now, I think that there are 10,000 smarter people,
Mm.
million people I know better than me, and I'm always taking inspiration from them.
And not only me, I think many of our listeners, you are one of them for sure.
I really appreciate that. And I know that they will set examples too, and they'll break all those
Yeah.
barriers and all those stereotypes and do something great. See, for me, I'm just doing what I like to do. It's not something that I pretend that, oh, I'm very smart, and no, I just keep sharing. That's how the
Yeah.
life goes, and I keep learning. And at that point, I had to make this decision, leave everything, and go to Canada and start
Mhm.
a life of a student
Yeah.
that you never thought of or was on books. But there's no other way, right? And
Yeah.
I knew that the business is going up and down, and things are not going in the way I want, and I'm feeling those kicks whenever people are asking me questions. I decided to take it, and I was like, okay, I'll come back to India and I'll continue with my company again. But now let's take a 2 years break and go to US. Like
Mhm.
movies, you go abroad, you study, you come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
We went with the interviews with the dean of Concordia, and they asked me all these questions. And my profile was so strong, the whatever I have shared. So if you talk about story, right?
Yeah.
This is the story that you can sell to anyone.
Of
If
course.
if if it comes on interviews, who can have a story like this, right? Just imagine that I'm doing this, and they were like,
Absolutely.
"Oh my god, this is not a conventional academic candidate, right?"
Yeah.
33 marks, man. They won't even let you in a college if you talk about Canadian academic system, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I won't get the visa. They were like, we'll take care of it. I don't have the money, we'll take care of it. So
Mhm.
everything is being taken care of. Parul, you are so dumb if you will just let it go.
Yeah.
I left everything, all those ongoing contracts that were there for trainings. I trained my colleagues. I had an office, so I told them, once these contracts expire, shut down the office. We are done.
Mhm.
We'll try to keep it running. But the struggle was, when I came to Canada, nobody was inviting my team for seminars because they wanted me.
Mhm.
They wanted that guy, who was doing this case is not
Yeah.
his associates. So that wasn't picking up really well, and we started getting into loss. So I decided to just, take it as a milestone of my life
Yep.
and start my new life in Canada. And
Mhm.
I was like, I'll come back again and I'll do something. But I never went back.
Just like many of us, we all plan to come here, but we never return. But tell me this one question, which as I'm also in Montreal, and I also get this question all the time, that why Montreal or why you are still here? It's going to be 5 years for me. Did people ask you that, or why you are in Montreal? Tell me about that.
The decision to stay in Montreal is somewhat partial. My decision to stay here,
Hmm.
and somewhat against my will, I would say. Uh, and in the end, I think I really want to stay in Montreal only when it comes to Canada. I don't
Hmm.
feel I'll be comfortable anywhere else, and there are many reasons. So the decision to stay in Montreal came in the light when I was graduating. When you graduate, you apply jobs everywhere.
Yeah.
So for me, work is worship. If I get a job here, it's fine. So I actually applied in Toronto. There's a little story.
Hmm.
Is it okay if we're extending this
Go ahead.
podcast more than
Absolutely.
the
Why not?
timeline, right?
Always a pleasure listening to you.
No, it's a funny story, right?
Yeah.
So Montreal is a small city, very diverse, a lot of colleges and universities, and everyone is smiling when you walk on the streets. There are festivals every weekend.
Yeah.
The vibe is kind of, everyone is, it's a slowed down life. Everyone is chilling, even if they are stressed.
Yeah.
You don't feel that pressure. Like, for example, if we talk about India, compare Mumbai's traffic or work culture
Yeah.
versus a small town or maybe Goa. So
Mm.
Montreal is like Goa for me, I would say.
Mm.
Okay. And you have this vibrant places and French culture, and too much diversity that you feel like you are somewhere else.
Absolutely.
You are in abroad. And now compare it with Toronto, which is it's like New York of Canada, right? Full of professional opportunities and everything. So when I graduated and applied to jobs at many places, I got an interview call from Toronto, from a top, Big Five. Okay, everyone's favorite dream, Big Five, to go in.
Yeah.
Adelaide Street, big towers. I go there.
Hmm.
If you look at the building, you'll actually snap your neck. Okay, so I go in for the interview. The moment I stepped in, I saw everyone Indian or everyone from Sri Lanka or Pakistan, and I felt like I'm in New Delhi. Okay, that was one. If you live in Montreal for a few years, you will feel it.
Yeah.
Maybe you won't feel if you are living here. You will see around a lot of Indians
Yeah.
around here, but if you will see 9 out of 10 are people who are from, you feel like you are in India. It's
Yeah.
like okay, from security to HR to everyone, and then. I also saw that everyone was in a very fast paced life mode. Everyone is running.
Hmm.
It's like in the train, they are running, pushing, going through. Uh, I did not feel that sense of belongingness there. I felt that this is a great place to make money, to professionally succeed.
Yeah.
But if I come here, I might get into and blend into everyone, and I won't have time for myself to explore what I do.
Hmm.
So, for sure, cybersecurity was everything I was doing till that point, but I was missing a bigger part of my life, that I am not now a regular guy. Nobody knows me. I don't have news articles.
Hmm.
It was emotionally bugging me actually,
Hmm.
because when you see all these things, quite earlier in your life, uh, and suddenly they are gone, you feel that gap.
Yeah.
Okay, you are not you are an average guy, and I really
Hmm.
didn't want it to be mediocre ever since
Hmm.
beginning. uh, I won't get time to explore anything like that. It was on my list that I have to do something. I didn't know it was YouTube. I was going to do something that will
Yeah.
give me recognition, and recognition kicks me to do better. So then I decided to apply again jobs in Montreal, and I got a job here, much better package. And if we talk about financial terms, if you get $60,000 offer in Toronto versus 45 in Montreal, it's equivalent to the 60,000 of Toronto for the
Hmm.
purchase power parity and the
Yep.
living expenses and the car insurance. So the maths was not adding up.
Yeah.
Uh, the financial things were not adding up for me.
Hmm.
So, but I got a better package in Montreal. I
Hmm.
was offered more than 70,000 for the first job in Montreal, which was unheard.
Hmm.
Thanks to my cybersecurity journey.
Yeah.
In the interview, they asked me, why did you choose cybersecurity? I was
Hmm.
like,
Let
done.
me tell you.
Let me tell you. And the guy came to my car with me. He was like, Parul, are you interviewing somewhere else? I thanked to that guy, like literally, because when you graduate, you are in, hunt for a professional job. You need an opportunity to shine yourself and show your skills, but
Yeah.
and you don't want to go for odd jobs, right? And my scholarships were done. I was
Hmm.
done with all the money I was left with. I was doing Uber. I wasn't really enjoying it, but it was good for me to practice my French and just get to learn about people. But again, I don't want to do this my whole life, right? Those 3-4 months are difficult.
Hmm.
For me, it was 3-4 months. For everyone,
Yeah.
sometimes it's more, and it becomes stressful. So he came to my car. He told me, "You want to get this job? It's fine. Hey, are you interviewing somewhere else?" I was like, "Yes, Toronto,
Hmm.
Big Five.
Yeah.
I'm sending you the offer letter." They added 10-15,000 on the
Mm.
top of it, and they said, "Okay, don't accept it. We'll send you the offer tomorrow morning. Today the HR is gone." And the next day they gave me the offer that quickly, and I accepted it, and I decided to stay in Montreal.
Hmm.
And then I was like, let's stay here for an year and see what comes in. If Toronto offers me an amazing opportunity, I'll try,
Yeah.
but let's now build this life. So once I started that job, then I started assessing, now what should I do to get that recognition back?
Hmm.
And I tried so many things. I failed so bad. I started pranks, YouTube channel,
Hmm.
22 subscribers. Nothing helped. Then I started playing videos of different world's best location from Google Earth.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. Then I was like, maybe I'm missing the point here. I'm being desperate.
Yeah.
Then I realized that all those students who I was teaching, they asked me questions on Facebook. Hi Parul sir. They call sir in
Yeah.
India, right? Here there's no culture.
Yeah.
I wanna do this masters because you are doing it. I wanna do this too. How did you do this? How did you do that? And then I realized that nobody is talking about guidance
Hmm.
on these things. Now let's do whatever you have been doing and make a video out of it.
Okay, hold that thought before we get into that, Parul. Tell me, what was your resources or support system? while you were in Canada, when you moved to Canada?
Okay, so my life has been less stressful than any other person I know,
Hmm.
and I think it was some bit of luck and some bit of, things happen around you naturally, right? I
Yeah.
won't say that it was too much struggle for me. I would say the too much struggle for me was the emotional part more, that
Hmm.
staying away from the family for that long. I never
Yeah.
left my family for more than a week. I was on business trips, but not much.
Hmm.
Uh, so when I came here, there's an uncle I know, and my brother's connection knew that uncle, and uncle came to pick me up at the airport, 25th December, and he hosted me for a month.
Hmm.
And I'm very thankful to him, because I know people have to suffer a lot when they come here and they
Yeah.
don't know anyone. So I stayed with him, and he supported me initially. And after a month, when I was about to move out, we discussed, and he said, "I feel good with you.
Hmm.
How about you stay here for longer?" I was like, "Okay." My family was more than happy. They were like, "Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, home away from home."
Yeah.
Okay.
Hagagoy yote. Monday ko hagagoy.
Yeah. So they were like, "Stay, stay." I was like, "No, I don't have independence. I want freedom. I want to go out late. I want to chill. I want to go to parties."
Yeah.
And they were like, "No." This time they were more, stubborn on their
Yeah.
decision. Like, this was the first time they actually told me no, very concretely. You are staying there.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, I'll stay. Then I stayed 6 months more there, and we got along really well. So my start was quite smooth.
Hmm.
But my schedule was quite hectic. 9 to 9, I have to be in the lab because it was a thesis program, masters. I'm not taking any courses, but I work
Hmm.
on a research project
Yeah.
funded by Korea and some government agencies, and there's a lot. So my money was getting funded by different sources. So I have to stay and work on research. So it
Hmm.
was, I didn't have time for life much. I'll be very clear. Nine
Yeah.
to nine, I was in lab, no social circle, no friends, because for friends you have to go out and have
Yeah.
chill time, and I was just studying, right? uh, but again, I had a lot of time on my hands to work on my personal projects, try something new, make extra money, sell stuff and all. So for me, the support system mainly was my family on phone,
Hmm.
WhatsApp. I'm just talking to them like everyone else, but it was my fixed schedule that I'll talk to my mom twice a day.
Hmm.
That's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And I have to answer her call or message within minutes. If
Yeah.
I'm not doing it, she's going to call everyone
Yeah.
on her list, anyone and everyone to reach me, and I'm like, come on, I'm just busy. They were like, no, we don't know. So they were very, protective of me and
Yeah.
possessive of the idea of me getting lost somewhere, and you know
Yeah.
so all these things, I have experienced, and I know that this is the pain point of every family sending their kid abroad. So yeah, I was getting support on phone. Rest, I was pretty, I would say, daring when it comes to doing something crazy, or
Yeah.
taking challenges on, and I was trying out a lot of things during my student life to support myself.
Let's just pivot towards your YouTube channel, Parul TV. TV being because you wanted to be on TV and you end up using the word TV on this one. Tell us about your initiation of the idea and then the execution.
So as I told you that the idea was to have a TV, right? I was
Yeah.
like, if I'm not on the real TV, because I failed the auditions of MTV VJ Hunt, where Ria Chakrabarti and Jose
Hmm.
Covaco
Yeah.
were the lead stars. I couldn't pass that. Then I went to Voice of India, Ishmi Singh, where
Hmm.
he won.
Yeah.
In that batch, I also auditioned, and I sang a song Alvida Alvida, and they told me to Alvida Alvida right on my face because I was so bad.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I tried everything. Okay, anything that can work for me. Everything failed. So TV. It's like I will have my own TV, and I put that name in Parul TV. And what can be better? First, I was thinking different names, but I was like, I am the brand, so I'll put my name as
But
TV.
what else were you thinking if you can share?
I was thinking a lot of things, immigrant, like travel funk, something. I put a lot of random names, backpacker, ye wo,
Okay.
but nothing worked. Parul TV sounded more genuine to me, so I was like,
Hmm.
let's do this because people know my name, easy to find, and I will have my more Google listing when somebody will search Parul.
Yeah.
So that's
Smart
imagination,
move.
right?
Yeah.
Right there. And when you Google search Parul Khanna ethical hacker or Parul Khanna hacker, there were a lot of results at that
Hmm.
time because I was very active on news and news websites, Times of India and everything. So I was like, let's keep that name. and put TV. So I basically, my goal was to just share what I do on messages, but now on screen. But I was like, let's make a video. So I actually tried to make some travel videos before,
Mm-hmm.
just like everyone else was doing. I didn't get any traction. Then I deleted them.
Mm-hmm.
Then I made this video on top jobs in Canada. So basically, what I did is then I searched and I found that a lot of YouTubers are there, but they are in Ontario, Vancouver, and they are talking about these things,
Mm-hmm.
but they are not doing it right.
Hmm.
They're just dragging it too much. It's not too specific. But then I said, oh, let's look check for Quebec. Ta-da! Nobody,
Nobody was there. Yeah.
zero. There was one channel who interviewed me, but that guy was more into singing songs or poetry and everything, but
Yeah.
nothing student specific. So I created a channel. I made the video with my iPhone 7. I kind of judged myself so many times that I was like, my audio sounds very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
The voice quality is not good. It's not radio quality.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I wasn't confident. I made the video and it picked up 100 subscribers in a
Mm.
week. Like, oh shit, 100 people know me.
Mm.
Let's do more.
Yeah.
200, 300, 400. And then I started putting down anything I have faced as a challenge. Luggage packing.
Mm-hmm.
That video, if you go back and check, probably one of I say thank you everyone for 500 subscribers.
Hmm.
I made it outside Starbucks. Uh, it started kicking in, and then one day I was in Gurdwara Sahib in
Mm-hmm.
LaSalle,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody said, "Oh, Parul, saw your video, man.
Ah.
Very nice." Oh, that guy, I still have his picture with me.
Uh-huh.
He changed me completely.
Okay. You were like, something's happening. Something's
He gave
happening.
me a shock. He shook my hand out of nowhere. My friends, so usually when you start a channel, you spam everyone on WhatsApp. Join my channel, join my channel.
Yeah.
Not everyone joins your channel, but now so the real fun begins when unknown people start recognizing you,
Absolutely.
not the ones that are connected by second or third line of connection. Your
Yeah.
friend's friend or his room. I don't. But when somebody out of thin air comes in, hey Parul, nice video, man. I was like, oh wow,
Mm-hmm.
this is fun. Let's do this more.
Yeah.
And then I start doing it more often, and more often people start coming and saying thank you to me.
Hmm.
Done. Mission resolved. You're helping people. You're giving back to society. You're sharing whatever you have been doing. It's genuine. Your intention is to just share and be famous. I really wanted that part. Okay. I never say that was not the motive. That was actually.
Yeah.
And I think it succeeded really well. Then 500. I was like, if there are 1,000 subscribers, I'll buy a camera.
Hmm.
If there are 2,000, I'll buy a light. So I started looking at the quality, and eventually we evolved
Mm-hmm.
5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. And then I stopped looking at the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I was just making videos. Then I came into discipline. I see when I'm missing videos, the subscriber goes down. Like I'm not
Hmm.
getting average. So then I was like, keep making videos. Every week there should be something. And I managed myself. I was good at time management thanks to my research degree. Uh, I learned from there. So I just kept making videos, and then I never looked back. I'm still doing the same routine.
Yeah.
One video is always there, at least.
Yeah.
That's a commitment.
So walk us through your process. Give us like an example of a video. How do you prepare that? Do you prepare everything before you get on the camera, or do you like just have the bullet points and you just talk, or you just put on the camera and just talk? Tell us about that.
So basically, so when I started again, nothing was in a fixed format. I was changing my, process every time. So I used to write everything in
Hmm.
paragraphs, read it, rehearse it,
Okay.
and then talk about it on camera. And it seems that whenever you are recording a podcast, or making a video, and if you are new, there are a lot of unseen challenges. Like there are challenges that you cannot even imagine.
Of course.
It sometimes takes 8 hours, 10 hours for me initially
Yeah.
to create one 10-minute video, because I'm saying, okay, hello guys, what's up guys, Parul? No, what's up guys? This is Parul. No, so you do a lot of retakes when
Yeah.
you are starting out, right? It's very stressful, and you kind of start hating yourself, like why you can't do this right.
Yeah.
uh, so my process was to write everything, record everything, and then edit everything on an amateur editor, and then basically compile it and post it. That was the initial beginning. But even with time, I started learning transitions,
Mhm.
software, lighting,
Yeah.
audio quality, and I was setting up. So I had a bag. I put my light camera everywhere. I sit outside. That's the best place to have natural light, and I record. But now, in last 5 years, we have been doing it for so long. I wanted to have a fixed setup. So now I am sitting in my studio.
Mhm.
I have all the lights that are fixed here. They are super expensive. I even if I know that I won't get views, I really like to have the best
Yeah.
gadgets around
You're
me.
doing it for yourself, you know?
I like the quality. I like that high definition colors.
Yeah.
I like those transitions that look greater and that make me different than anyone else
Mhm.
putting on the videos, or maybe on the same topic. Even if I don't get views, I just put milestones and I started putting all these things together.
Mhm.
Now I have a team to help me with editing and everything, because
Mhm.
I have been doing it, like editing, like for 3 to 4 years. But at one point, I started, spending more time on editing and being more possessive about what I have been doing, and it was pushing me back
Mm.
because I wasn't able to produce more content because I was spending all the time in editing. I'm not able to sleep at night. My work routine is messing up. So I was like, let's get an editor so that
Mhm.
I can focus more on content. So now I still write my scripts myself. I
Mhm.
don't have a writer. I tried to hire people, but then it was not like me. It's like I'm reading a news.
Yeah.
I cannot make my jokes. It's to the point. Those are not my words. So I still struggle and spend more time on writing. So I write my content. I have a fixed setup. I sit here, I shoot, then I give it to my editor, which I found after so much stress and so much struggle, because you don't get aligned with somebody who understands like you, cuts the video like you, puts
Yeah,
the music like you. It's very difficult to find that perfect match.
of
But
course.
now I'm blessed that I have people on my team. So I give it to them, reels, videos, and they process it, and we set up some target deadlines and schedules, and everything is delivered to me and posted on my accounts. So
Yeah.
I kind of automated much of the part so that I can focus more on the script and the content. Last year, something hit me when I was meeting with people. Now people are talking to me and meeting me and greeting me and say, "We used to watch your videos."
Mm.
So we used to watch your videos, and it started repeating quite a lot. I'm going to movie. Somebody might say, "We used to watch your video."
Mm.
I used to. Why not now?
Yeah.
And then I started questioning myself. I'm just working, right? So then I was like, now it's time to pivot.
Mm.
I cannot hear this again. So I have to do something different. But then I was like, now let's share the other part of your journey, which started after you graduated,
Yeah.
which is the financial journey. Because as per my planning and everything, I think I have been doing well, and I am hitting
Mhm.
the targets as I imagined, long term, short term. And I don't think everyone is doing the same way. So
Yeah.
let's help everyone to at least share the points and things and the tips and the tricks and the books I read, and focus on personal finance.
Mhm.
Then I pivoted my strategy to personal finance, and now I'm talking about personal finance. I don't know how long I'm going to do this.
Mhm.
Until I feel and I enjoy more natural content, I'm going to do this. I know for students, there are other people
Yeah.
who are doing more relatable
Mhm.
content because they are students in 2023 rather than 2020, 2016. So
Mhm.
I think they do better content than me. And I can do finance better, and I know that nobody else can do better than me.
Mhm.
I have that confidence on me for now. uh, so we'll do it. That's how it works.
Yeah. And the one thing which I really love about your content is, of course, it's relatable and you kind of just talk to the point. Another aspect which I love is you always bring that humor into it. How do you do that intentionally, or is that something that comes naturally to you?
Right, it's purely natural. Sometimes my humorous parts are very crazy. I have to cut them out. If I share that with my mom, and I'm like, "Do you think I can say that in my video?" My mom's like, No, you cannot make a joke like that. It's gonna look bad, and now you have wider
Uh-huh.
audience. So I do discuss my humorous points once I have the final edit,
Yeah.
uh, whether I should share it or no. And sometimes I have to chop it out. Sometimes it's very extreme, but that's how it goes, right? It's in the blood.
Yeah.
I cannot stop myself. I sometimes make relative comparisons with things. Like today, I made a video and I posted that tomato बहुत महंगे हो गए हैं इंडिया में, and the same kind of thing is houses are also expensive in Canada if your tomatoes are expensive.
Yeah.
So these things come out naturally, right? I, I don't know. And the funny part is sometimes my videos, the jokes that I know that that nobody can make. I made them. They are in other people's videos too. Uh, the replica channels and the other content creators sometimes make some topic videos and they share the same jokes. I'm like, oh, this is mine. No,
You should trademark those now. People should not copy it.
I can't. See, this is the thing, right? When you're talking, you cannot, trademark or monetize
Yeah, of
everything. That's
course.
what
Yeah.
I feel. And this kind of general information is really picking up because people are coming to Canada much more
Than
big
ever.
numbers
Yeah.
than before. But at one point, this is going to be obsolete. Like nobody's going to watch these videos because everyone would be aware. Just like cybersecurity, people didn't knew, and there was a lot of hype. And the moment everyone knew, nothing. So I think the times are changing. The information that is out there is common, becoming more common, and at one point things must change. And to be very frank, I might switch to podcasts in a few months. It's on my list.
Okay, count me
Uh,
in. I would love to be
Go
part
on
of
that.
it.
100%. I'm going to talk to you.
Okay. Is there any type of content that you really like enjoy the most talking about on your channel?
Many categories, I would say. See, to be very clear, I really wanted to make travel videos. I tried a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't well received by the audience.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that is still on my plate. I do like to travel a lot and shoot a lot. It takes much more effort than in a fixed studio setup, but I never got views on that. So sometimes you have to, let go things that you like, but it's not taken really well by the audience. But when it comes to talking about experiences, personal experiences, I think that's my main USP. That's what brings
Mm-hmm.
people and connects them with me and their parents. Because when I share something, I share what happened to me. I don't share this can happen to you
Mm-hmm.
based on these facts. So I think that emotional connection of sharing my journey and experiences really resonates with my
Mm.
audience. And the fact that when people meet me, they never tell me they found me, they tell me their parents found me.
Mm.
And I think that's the fun part actually, for me, that I connect with people I don't even know. Like on the other side of screens, they connect with me. They're like, oh, yes, this is relatable. So that relatable content can only come with the journey or experience sharing. And I think if the channel is alive today, it's based purely on this. If I start talking abstract topics or science, I don't think it will really sell well or people will actually,
Mm-hmm.
get connected. So that emotional connection comes with the personal experience journey videos.
Yeah.
And my video that I posted, the story of my life,
Yeah.
even if I just made it out, just by 100K, let's share this, I didn't know that it's going to impact people so much. And also the fact that when the journey brings in some family members, like my mom came to Canada recently, 2 years
Mm-hmm.
ago, not recently, yeah, it's 2 years, wow, 2021. So that video was also again very emotional for so many people that comes with the dreams to Canada.
Yeah.
So again, emotional connection and journey sharing is something that I think is my favorite part because I don't have to write a script for that.
Of
It's
course. Yeah.
there.
And I think we humans do connect more with stories. I think we learn things through stories. If you talk about our religions also, we have learned few principles through stories. So I think that's why people resonate more with that. And regarding that video you were talking about, the story of my life, I personally love that video. I think that's one of my favorites of yours, and it is very inspiring. When you read that comments, the way people are, I remember this one comment I read, and she said that I am usually like a silent watcher. I'll never usually comment anything, but that video has forced me to comment because it was so inspiring for me, and she just loved it, and so did I. Uh, Tell me, you tell me, Parul, that was there an impactful story or a feedback that you have received from one of your viewers? I'm sure there must be many, but if one that you can share that really like was close to you.
Many, I would say. I still go and check comments on that specific video. Uh, Sometimes people are so like emotional when they express themselves and they're like, oh, I saw this video. I also failed in high
Hmm.
school, but this gave me some hope, man. I also failed in
Yeah.
mathematics. And then suddenly there are so many like him or her that are similar, commenting in a similar way. And then they revisit back, send me an email and try to make a connection to me on YouTube or Instagram or email. Hey, I saw your video and I actually didn't give up and I started making cakes and everything while I failed. And now I'm selling cakes and pastries for
Hmm.
weddings. And like people come up with their stories. I don't know, like, how come, you see the
Yeah.
impact? Like, some people really, like, some people actually send audio messages very emotionally and with the crying tone, and I'm like, oh my god, the purpose was never this for me to just, I never thought that this it will go that in that direction, that people will actually get that much resonation, impact,
Yeah.
and vibe from that video. I really get shocked even
Mhm.
now. So a lot of stories, people, because not everyone is smart, man. In India, academic pressure and family pressure is something that kills a lot of people's talents and dreams. I came out of it because I had support. Not everyone is lucky to have same kind of
Mhm.
open-minded
Yeah.
parents. Uh, some people told me they showed this video to their parents. They wanted to come to Canada. Their parents were against the decision, but this video helped them. Like, look, this guy, the biggest failure, always failing, doing something with his life.
Mhm.
I'll do the same. So I think that like, people use that video for different ways to impress their parents, to impress themselves, or maybe to have some hope. And I think that's the greatest part.
Yeah. And how do you cope up with the responses that you received? Like by that I meant that do you set up like a time that okay, I'm dedicating this time of the day to reply to people? How do you do that?
There's no fixed time actually, because sometimes the content goes so viral that you actually lose the sight of
Mm,
everything and anything. My channel is not the biggest and the greatest on YouTube. When we talk about immigration community, there are much great channels that go along. But if we talk about traction of my channel, there are videos that sometimes hit millions of views. Like, for example, you remember that car video where I'm cleaning and I'm saying, "Don't come to
yeah,
Canada."
funny. Yeah,
15 million views on YouTube, and similarly 15 on Instagram. That's like 30 million views. Now imagine the number of comments that contains love,
yeah.
hate, so much coming on. It becomes difficult for me, so I just do random scrolling when I'm at work, or I'm, having lunch, or whenever I release the video. I try to reply to the comments that actually deserve my time and expertise. I don't reply to the comments that are something that people can just Google and they're just being lazy. No,
Yeah.
I just reply to the comments that really think can are more like decisive. Hey, I'm going to this university versus that. What do you
Mm,
think? Okay, I will say
this
A.
one. Yeah.
B. I have to speed up. I cannot have somebody to reply to the comments because that's not me then.
Yeah.
So it's random, it's less. So what I did is that some people were really serious about their journey, really wanted to talk to me, commenting on all videos. Then the idea stuck in my mind. I have to book a call
Mhm.
because I initially started Parul TV video call, and my whole month was booked, and it was free, of
Mhm.
course.
Yeah.
But then you cannot do this, right? It's not something that is practical,
Of
it's not
course.
scalable. I'm losing time on making my
Yeah.
videos. So I put a dollar amount, which is very nominal, and I know it's 10 times less than anyone charging in Canadian market. Usually it's 300, $400. I charged like 50 or $60. So I put that so that only serious people
Mhm.
come in. Okay. And usually after, even at the end of the call, I used to tell them, if this was helpful, great. If not, I'm happy to refund to you, because I got to learn from them too. But this way I filtered out hundreds of people and hundreds of responses that really want my 1 hour. Because sometimes there's a comment, hey, I want to go to this province, that province, this
Mhm.
province. I cannot just say this one. There's no straight answer to
Yeah.
this, right? I need to know what Gura is replying to me,
Mhm.
and what is his profile, what are his
Yeah.
goals, what, what's his 5-year goal, 10-year goal, what do we want to do, is Toronto good for him, Montreal good for him. So all these things matter, and it needs time. I don't have
Mhm.
time. We made this system, it works well. So far we have done hundreds of calls. I cannot
Mhm.
count. I'm mostly booked, and I give like few slots a week, and I think it's pretty going well, and respond to those people more well. And I have been doing this for 2 years, and every time people ask me, hey, help us in applying,
Mhm.
I don't do that. I'm not an immigration agent. But I cannot trust any immigration agent out there too. The market is messed up.
Mhm.
So 2023 now, I got along with somebody I really trust on and I can count on, that I'll give my file to him.
Okay.
So then I was like, okay, let's do this. We'll partner up. So I keep finding ways to fulfill these gaps and launch new services. Like, for example, people are coming to Canada, no problem. Home away from home service, book here.
Yeah.
Everything is monetized and commercialized, but this is how the way, the world works. I know I get sometimes a lot of hate comments too, that you are commercializing everything. If I don't do, then how come people will take me seriously, right?
Yeah.
If Some people think that YouTube is the way I make my living out. To be very clear, I can right now say that on your podcast for the first time, YouTube is not even 10% of my
Mm.
income.
Hey, if you're enjoying the content and conversations we bring to you every week, we would love for you to join our growing community. Make sure to follow us on all major podcast directories, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you consume your podcast. That way, you'll never miss an episode and you'll always stay in the loop with the latest insights and stories. And speaking of staying connected, I always encourage you to follow your heart, but also us on Instagram. The handle is My Thick Accent. We'll be sharing a lot more behind the scenes content, some updates, and some even fun sneak peeks. So give us a follow and let's engage even more closely there. And to all those who provided their feedback and input, thank you so much. It truly shaped the direction of our podcast. And I would love to hear from any of the new folks who joined us today. Don't hesitate to reach out with any thoughts, ideas, or even suggestions for future guests. Drop us an email at hello@mythickaccent.com. Now let's get back to the episode.
YouTube is not even 10% of my income. My primary income is my job. I act as a vice president for one of the world's largest banks. That's where everything is being paid for, these glasses, these clothes, everything. YouTube is more of like passively. Tomorrow I wake up and the YouTube goes off, nothing will change in my
Mhm,
life. I did not base my life on YouTube. Many people push me to make YouTube as my primary, income platform. No,
mhm,
I keep it as secondary. I still follow cybersecurity. YouTube is something I do
mhm.
dynamically and it gives me thrill.
Yeah, it's just like a passion project for you. You're not doing it for the monetary gain.
Yeah, it's passion project that went really wild and bigger, so I'm continuing to do this.
Yeah. And you did spoke briefly about the hate comments. Do you really acknowledge those when you come across those, or you just completely bounce them off?
I used to do initially, but then it started hurting me and impacting my
Hmm.
mental health because there's a lot of negativity around us and poisonous
Yeah.
comments. Sometimes I get comments on my looks, my hairline,
Hmm.
my voice, how ugly I look, or how bad my videos are, or how I'm defaming India by pushing more people to
Hmm.
Canada, by how I'm not a true patriot, by how I am a pagoda. Uh, I get a lot of comments, man. I cannot. If I start telling you comments, you will have blood in
Hmm.
your ears. I'm
Hmm.
not kidding. Initially, I used to think about like, why did this guy say this to me? Why did this guy? It was impacting my
Hmm.
mental health. Sometimes I even was depressed that somebody said something to me on
Yeah.
my video, like you are a chore, you are misleading people. I was like, what? And then I found a way
Hmm.
that just don't respond, because if you reply, they reply again,
Hmm.
and it goes on. And I think this negative part actually keeps a lot of people away from social
Hmm.
media. They don't go because they're not strong enough. Now I'm so strong enough. If they say, "Oh, you are a jerk," I was like, "Thank you, appreciate it. I am one. Look where I am." So I just don't respond. Even I don't block also. I only block people when they are being too rude and using swear words to my other
Yeah.
subscribers. People start getting in their own conversations. Oh, you are a jerk following him. He said, no, you are. Your family is. It goes at another level. That time I come in and I intervene and I block. Otherwise, now I have made a list of swear words, bad words, good words. YouTube allows to
Yeah.
whitelist. So if somebody writes those words, they are
Okay.
kicked away right away.
Yeah. I think I've read this so many times on social media. Like, people share these hateful messages because they have been hurt themselves or they have been abused in their house by the family or somebody else, and they want to retaliate or take revenge, by hitting out at other people. And I think hating for them is a way to deal with their problems and anger, and they themselves have insecurities. That's like their way of kind of, I don't know, depacking, unpacking,
Yeah,
probably.
can be
Yeah.
anything, man. Anything,
Yeah.
man. Like yesterday, the fresh
Yeah.
one. Yesterday,
Fresh one.
somebody commented to me, "Hey, very fresh, straight out of the box, 11 p.m." I read I read this long message. It starts with, "I have been your follower, but suddenly I see that you are promoting people, you're promoting services, you're doing meetups, you're doing consultations, you're doing immigration business, you're doing a lot of businesses. You're not leaving anything for anyone to succeed. People like you are monsters who try to do everything and anything and become, the wealthiest person on the top." And Oh man, it was so long at one point I stopped. I started scrolling. I was like, you people have no goal to help people. You people just, it's you
Yeah.
people. So it's everyone who's on content or everyone who's doing something. Just do it,
Yeah.
man. Just get away. Like for me, if I don't like somebody's video, I just pass on. I never comment and sit there and
Hmm.
spell, uh, anything wrong. I just go away. But I don't know, man. Different people, different world. It's
Yeah.
okay. I just pass on. I wish God help them and they use their time for something more productive. Uh, I can't do much. I try to coach some people too when they were making this comment. Hey, you shouldn't have done that. Initially, they were like, "Oh no, why not?" In the end, it ends up nowhere. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, leave it.
Of course, that's the right approach. Okay, so Parul, before we get to the final segment, how can I not discuss about two topics? And I'm going to call this segment Parul's Perspective. The first is, which is a common discussion amongst many people in 2023, whether to immigrate or not to immigrate to Canada. And I did see you did make a video about that as well, whether to move or not to move. Tell us like a crux of it, or should people move or should people not move?
I think again, this is like a double-edged sword.
Hmm.
Uh, it's something that you are sitting in a nexus of different your decisions or projections of your
Hmm.
life. It really depends upon person to
Yeah.
person. There's no straight answer to this. So I'll take two perspectives here. Let's talk about number one. If you are somebody who wants to do something great and also at the same time wants to save time
Hmm.
and feel more appreciated, that's my
Hmm.
comment. Okay, I don't know what others think. And wants more fair opportunities, come
Hmm.
to Canada. I had an established business. Again, I will share my experience. I don't know what everyone thinks
Of
about
course.
it.
Yeah.
I worked with a lot of government and a lot of businesses. Man, in India right now, it's becoming so difficult if you are a middle class person to grow up without any support or without any bureaucracy.
Hmm.
Without cash, it's becoming really difficult to survive. If you are somebody with entrepreneurial
Hmm.
spirit and have no money on your hands, come here, maybe go back later, but this country is going to appreciate each and everything you do to provide you something more
Hmm.
than what you will get there. That's one. If you are somebody who wants to get a decent career profession, wants to get a job, stay with the family. And when I say stay with the family, it's really important. If you're an emotional person, you really don't want to stay away from your family. You want to have a decent job, decent lifestyle, watch movie with your wife or kids later when you get
Hmm.
married, and eat food with your mom and family. If you're a family oriented person and you really cannot compromise that one part, don't come here. Don't come here on the idea of you will go back, because there's
Hmm.
no going back. The moment you step out of your house, you are going to meet your parents or family a number of times in your whole life.
Hmm.
And that's the biggest, saddest truth I'm telling you.
Hmm.
If somebody leaves their house in Canada and their parents' age is 45,
Hmm.
50, and I'm telling you a very dark statement here,
Hmm.
they will come to Canada, they'll study here, they will likely meet their family once a year,
Hmm.
maybe twice a year. The life expectancy right now is 75. We're looking at 30, 45 years. You are going to meet your parents not more than 200 times.
Huh.
That's very
Okay.
sad. Hard to take with a pinch of salt. I know nobody has ever talked about it. I didn't ever make a video. I told my mom, and she was kind of sad. She was like, "Don't talk about it on camera. It's not gonna take in well." But this is it, man.
Yeah.
You're going to meet your parents 100 times or 150 times. If you manage to bring them here, that's another story. But there are a lot of ifs and buts, that they will move with you or you will move with them. But in the grand scheme of things, you are going to meet them
Yeah.
few times. So don't come. If you're an emotional person, Canada is not for you. And in 2023, with the challenges, the stress, and everything is coming on, if you are brave enough and if you think that you can cope up, even if you think 1%,
Hmm.
come. Even that hope is enough. But if you think no, hopeless, don't try it, man. Not worth it.
Hmm.
Trust me, it's worth it to spend make 50,000 rupees a month in
Yeah.
India rather than $2,000 here. It's much worth it. I'm telling you right now.
Hmm.
Otherwise, Canada is land of opportunity. The respect of job that is here for a small job like plumber,
Yeah,
electrician, which is a small job in India, but here they make much more money than a doctor in India.
absolutely.
When it comes to making money and following your passion, come here because your passion will be more respected here. If you are an artist, come here. If you are in, something that is deemed like a low paying job in India, come here. Truckers, for example, no respect in India, one of the richest here.
Hmm.
Other any, non mainstream professions,
Hmm.
come here. Education, if you talk about, come here. You can always go back to India and become a professor in a top university after graduating
Yeah,
from here. But if you study the same course in India, it will take you 10 more years to even have an idea or chance to become a teacher at a premier
very well said.
institution.
Yeah.
The moment you hit University of Toronto or any tier 2 university here for masters, and then with your skills you hit a top university in Harvard or Stanford or any top university in Canada, you are gold.
Hmm.
You can go anywhere. So buy that freedom by taking that decision to come here. uh you will be appreciated. Look at me, 12th, nothing, marks, nothing.
Hmm.
Now if I go back to India, I'm pretty sure that I'll have decent opportunities I would have never seen in
Yeah,
my life.
yeah. I think you have articulated it perfectly. Awesome. I love that. Another thing I would like to address with you is definitely mental health, mental pressure. When you come here, everything is nice and hunky dory, but then the reality kicks in. Everything takes a toll on you, and that has unfortunately led to a lot of suicides and cardiac arrests as well. Tell me, how can one prevent that, as per your experience and your conversations with students?
I think it's becoming too much since last few months or maybe last 2 years. I have seen the increase in comments and the messages on my
Yeah,
inbox where people are looking for support. They are stressed. They're not able to manage their grades or expenses, and there's no support. Families again come into
yeah.
pressure that they have to perform well and support financially. It's too much for somebody who is, not ready for this. Uh, the very big thing I would comment on this is that usually I tell people to come here at a younger age, but if there is no self assessment, you might
Hmm.
be making a wrong decision of coming to Canada. No, not everyone self assesses their, different traits or behavior or their tendency to take
Hmm.
stress, and they just love the idea of
Yeah.
coming to Canada because it's great. You get to drive Mustangs and
Hmm.
live in nice houses. It's a great idea. People sometimes tell me that you are selling this idea on YouTube, but not everyone is able to
Hmm.
handle it. And when I sit down and I realize that yes, I'm making a generic video, but all sorts of audience watches it, right? So then I started putting these topics like why you should self assess yourself. Are you okay to take stress of failing in a course?
Hmm.
Write it down. Are you okay to work extra jobs which are physically intensive? For example, for a person like me, I cannot do physical jobs.
Yeah.
I went for a shift one day and I was crying in tears. My bones were aching. I couldn't wake up from
Hmm.
the bed. I went once when I was a student. Uh, if you cannot do it, don't come. Uh, the stress becomes difficult here because you come from an environment that is very friendly. You have your parents supporting you. You don't realize there's that
Hmm.
support there. You have your cousins, your friends, your brothers supporting you if you fail or if you pass or if you're spending happy times. The moment you come here, you are in a room like this alone.
Yeah.
There's no support. Are you okay with that? And how to handle? Many people come here, they realize that they messed up. For example, when I came, it was too cold. I felt really
Hmm.
bad. I felt I should cry. I was weak, 55 kilos, never done any physical exercise. It messed me up. It was impacting my education.
Hmm.
Buy an expensive jacket that keeps you warm, get better
Hmm.
shoes, start working out, eat good diet. I had
Hmm.
solutions for that. But for mental stress, the solution is therapy.
Yeah.
The solution is people start finding support with their roommates or with their friends they're not able to get.
Yeah.
I think it badly impacts people who are introverts,
Hmm.
and there are ways to get out of that zone. And you have to do something. You have to go to networking events. You have to talk to people. You have to be in an area, take house in an area where there are more people crowded. Don't have to go on the side, or maybe you try to move in with people who are not Indians and other nationalities. You try to explore
Hmm.
that. You have to get out of that
Yeah.
zone because mental health impact all aspects. You have to become a machine. My family calls me a robot. Last time my brother told me Chat GPT is more emotional than you. That's what he told me. He said, That was the biggest statement he made when on my recent visit. He said, "You are ChatGPT is more emotional than you. He thinks more emotionally than you. Look at the responses." So I became like that. I didn't know when I became like that, right? I became more hard on some things that usually people are soft on or maybe talk about.
You definitely build a hard skin.
Yeah, yeah. You become like that. The journey makes you like
Mhm,
that. But not everyone is a cut for this kind of journey. So if you have mental health, if you have stress, seek therapy. Come here. It's manageable. Everything is manageable. It's just a matter of trusting yourself. Many people don't trust themselves. They're much smarter. They just don't trust themselves. And yeah, I'm not a mental health expert, but what I see mostly is that people have options around them, but they just take things too seriously. I kind of practice something that I read in a book, that whenever you are stressed,
mhm.
think about it, that is it going to matter in next 3 years or 5 years?
Yeah.
If it is, then it's serious.
Mhm,
You are messed. If it's not, let it go. Take care of it. For example, my PR is not coming, my work permit is not coming, my job is
mhm.
not coming. Do you think in 5 years you will have the same position?
Definitely
No.
not. Yeah.
Then it's not life changing. You should not pain your heart for you were not born to kill your heart for this. You have pain in your kidney.
Mm.
In 5 years, is it going to bother?
Yes.
Yes, it is. This is something
Yeah.
that needs more serious mental issues to think about and take it more
Mm,
seriously. Relationship. You got cheated by somebody and your friends are, not taking you seriously or something. Does that matter in 5 years? No. Let it go. I think this works.
yeah.
That's how I handle my stress and pressure. In the grand scheme of things, is something going to help? For example, my tenant calls me in my another house. Hey, there's a blockage. Right away I will think
Mhm.
expenses, money, so many
Yeah.
things, right? Is it going to matter 5 years later? No, it's money. Okay,
Yeah.
that's how it
No, I
works.
think that's the right approach, and it does take a toll on you. And I think the only thing we sometimes need to learn is really asking for that help. And we guys are not, I would say, wired to do that. Maybe growing up in a protective environment like India, where everything is sort of served to you. And I like this approach that you said, if something matters in 3 to 5 years, put your energy on that. If it does not, just move on. And to all my listeners, if you want to connect with Parul or check out his channel, if you haven't as yet, you're probably living under a rock. But if you haven't, links to that will be found in the show notes. Okay, Parul, so now we're in the final segment of the podcast. I call it Beneath the Accent. I'm going to ask a couple of questions. You can answer them in one word or a sentence or however you feel like. The idea is just to know more about you. Okay, so ready?
Ready?
So, first is, what's that one habit you adopted that has changed your life?
Discipline. I wasn't disciplined before. And
Mhm,
the moment I started being in discipline, being committed to what I plan, it changed my life. It changed my YouTube life. It
mhm,
changed my learning schedules. It changed the things that I wanted to learn, improve with my health, make meals. Discipline, because it wasn't there before, because it was automated in India. And when I was a student, everything was irregular. I promised things to myself, but I wasn't doing it.
mhm,
But the moment I started getting into discipline of doing things and planning things just for next 5 days, it changed everything and every aspect.
mhm,
And it started from reading to making food to delivering content to getting done things for job, managing my weekends. Discipline is more important than any kind of motivation. If you got motivation from this video and you don't have discipline to put things in place for you, it's worth nothing.
What's the best piece of advice someone ever gave you?
Trust yourself and always be confident. That's the best advice anyone and everyone should take from this. If you cannot trust yourself, how do you expect anyone next to you to trust you?
Yeah.
Not happening. If you go for an interview, if you don't feel confident, how the other person will feel confident to hire you? If
Mhm,
you are dating somebody and you're not confident, how the other girl is going to trust you to continue her relationship with you? uh, just be confident and trust yourself. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad, but accept it. Don't lie to yourself. Don't
yeah.
promise things when you are happy, and don't make decisions when you are sad.
Sad. Yeah.
That's the only thing you should think about. That's the
Yeah.
best advice. These two things actually changed my life, because when you're happy, you're like, oh yeah, I'll give a party, oh yeah, I'll do this with you, I'll do that. No. And when you're sad, okay, let's sign. No, the stocks are
Yeah.
falling down, don't sell it, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoken like an experienced person for sure. Is there any worst advice someone ever gave you?
So many worst advices.
Mhm.
I'm just thinking of the best one. Everyone around you, if they are making comments on your decisions, they don't really matter in grand scheme of things.
Mhm.
And that connects it with my last response.
Yeah.
There's a lot of judgment, there's a lot of negativity, there's a lot of comments. If you want to take somebody's comment, he should always be somebody who is doing at least two times better than you. You have to rate it that way.
Mhm.
Then it makes more value. But if it's somebody studying with you, or somebody who is your relative or your friend, and saying, hey, don't start that podcast or YouTube channel, not gonna help,
Mhm.
pass. Everyone told me, don't start Parul TV YouTube channel. You are doing cybersecurity. This is something entertainment kind of thing. Who cares, man? You don't want to be that.
Yeah.
No, don't take advice for somebody who's on your level or below your level. Always go multiply by two and then see who's doing much better than you. You vibe with them. Take
Mhm.
it. So the
Yeah.
worst advice is, don't take any advice. सलाहें लेनी बंद कर दो. Don't ask too many questions to people who are around you. Ask people to who that are doing better, and you feel that connection.
Absolutely. And is there something you recently bought and you now regret?
I am very careful with my purchases, and to this I apply a formula. Do I need it, or
Mhm.
if it makes me happy? If I need it, I'll buy it. If it makes me happy, I'll think about it, and I'll spend 10 days thinking about it,
Mhm.
and then I'll buy. If it's something that is more than $1,000 or $2,000, I give myself 10 days to think
Mhm.
about the need of it. These days, it's fine with me to spend around, but what can I regret? Plants.
Ah, okay.
Summer was there. There were plants in everyone's houses. I
Mhm.
thought I should get plants, but I could not take care of them, and they died. I did not like it. It's not something expensive, but it's something that I couldn't take care of. I forgot about few plants in my backyard. I
Mhm.
I didn't like it. I'm not going to buy more plants now. I'll buy the fake ones.
So, what's the most expensive thing you own?
In terms of emotional value or in terms of money?
Well, we are not going that philosophical. Tell us the value.
I don't own, like banks own, but it's my real estate assets, I would say. I have my name on the papers, but I'm not a complete owner until they are completely paid off.
Mm.
But the most expensive, if we put a dollar amount, that's my real estate portfolio, which is going to
Mhm.
increase further every year. But
Okay.
yeah, we're looking at more than $1.5 million. So that's,
Mhm.
yeah, what I have invested in. In Canada, it takes time to completely own them on your name, but you can
Mhm.
say I'm responsible for,
Mhm.
or I have liability for,
Mhm.
or where most of my earnings have gone, which is six figures.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's in the bricks, not in the bank. I can say.
I like that. Yeah. And what's the most expensive thing you would like to own?
Wow, I don't want to share that actually.
Okay, give us a hint. A hint, probably. Is it a private jet?
No, I changed the idea when I watched Mr. Beast's video on if it's worth it to buy a private jet.
Okay.
Uh, it's something I don't want to share. I have it. I keep it in my book. Yeah, it's something like that. It's super materialistic. Materialistic in terms of, somebody who's living a minimalistic life. For me, who's fond of gadgets and
Mhm.
everything,
Yeah.
yeah, there is something. Yeah, something like a jet. But yeah, it's there.
Yeah. You should put it out there. Somebody might listen and gift you that. You never know.
Oh no, I have to earn it. If somebody gifts me, it will have no value actually. I wanna earn it. For example, when I bought my first car, I bought my nice car after so many years of my student life and work life. I could have bought
Mm-hmm.
it earlier, but I put a goal on it. I was like, okay, if YouTube is going to pay for this car,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get it. Otherwise, you won't. It doesn't make sense. The moment YouTube started making money and I earned like $40,000, I was like, okay, let's get a
Mm-hmm.
car. So I put goals, dollar amounts, and a year in front of the item.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely for next few years, the biggest expensive things I'm going to do is more onto the real estate side and opening up a
Mm-hmm.
business where there is something that people buy again and again.
Okay.
Yeah, product.
So what's next on your bucket list?
Next, I told
Mm-hmm.
you, change in strategy for YouTube, because I am doing this personal finance. So we came with the course, right? So Canada's first immigrant investor course, which is in Hindi,
Mm-hmm.
Canada's first stock market investing course. So my next thing on the list is to likely to scale a business and also see what different can be done on YouTube in my content, because now I feel that uh, I have to switch the strategy to do something I like and enjoy more. It's been years I have
Mm-hmm.
been doing similar kind of content.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely it is going to be something that is solving the challenge that immigrants face, commercializing it,
Mm-hmm.
and making easier for people to do those things. So for example, last I keep on posting stories and comments on what's next, what are the biggest challenges.
Yeah.
So probably a business initiative is on my list.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who's your go-to person when you feel stuck?
It's my mom and my brother.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust anyone outside that, but now I talk more with my wife since I am married from last two
Yeah.
months. So I'm a married guy. So the very first thing goes to my wife right away, uh, because she's next to me, of course,
Yeah.
my biggest support system. So, and then it's my mom and my brother.
Are there any movies that you like to watch over and over again?
Yes,
Name a
many.
few.
Harry Potter, The House
Hmm.
of Cards, Dark.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
Something from the Bollywood you like?
Chup Chup Ke, comedy movies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, no, Bollywood these days. I am personally not enjoying Bollywood much. It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
similar, but I watch TV series. Web series are something that I like more for. I won't call it Bollywood, but if you talk about Hindi content,
Yeah.
so TVF series are amazing. I really resonate
Mm.
with all those series.
Oh
My
yeah.
my recent watch today morning breakfast was Sandeep Bhaiya, because I resonate my life story with all those struggles of UPSC aspirants and everyone. It's similar, right? Of course, I didn't go for UPSC, but
Yeah.
not that smart, but something similar. The pressure from the family and everything we have discussed. So the
Mm-hmm.
TVF is,
Yeah.
I think, the best thing happened. Then Pankaj Tripaঠি's series are something that I like. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, similar series, mostly Bollywood crime series. I like thriller investigations. That's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Dexter for sure is my life's favorite series.
Okay.
That's why I named my dog Dexter also. I like it. And Dexter's Laboratory. So everything
Mm-hmm.
Dexter I like.
What all cuisines you have tried since you moved to Canada?
We have to name mostly everything and anything. Montreal is a place in Canada and America where if you visit each restaurant new every day, it will take you years to still cover all of them. That's what said by Montreal Gazette
Yeah.
article recently, and I think that's true. On my list, what I do is it's fixed. That's my routine. Every week I'll go
Mm-hmm.
for a new restaurant.
Mm.
That's what I
Okay.
do. I'm not a big foodie, but I really don't want to miss out on something. But again, I really don't want to just kill myself by eating all sorts of trash. So, for example, last week I was eating dumplings at a Chinese
Mm-hmm.
restaurant. A week before, I was in a Korean restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Fried chicken I was eating, then Iranian. So I think when you come to Canada, this is also something that I encourage people to do. That try out different cuisines. Just don't stick to Indian or Pakistani or South Indian
South Asian. Yeah.
dosas. Yeah, just don't get stuck
Mm-hmm.
there. There's so much more out there in the world. I know it's a bit challenge for vegetarians, but for others, oh my god, there's plenty of options. I love like different cuisines. It depends upon my mood that or how heavy I want to eat or how light I want to go.
Yeah.
It's a sushi or it's a pudding.
Mm-hmm.
The thin line we have to draw.
Do you eat all meats?
No, I only eat chicken, fish, and lamb. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
Indian non-vegetarian. Uh, I
Got
really
it.
don't get along with the beef and pork. Uh,
Yeah.
that's that's the reason that I have to miss out on some very amazing dishes offered by different cuisines. That because that's their speciality.
Hmm.
But yeah, so far I do the chicken, poultry, and yep, all that Indian
Okay.
non-veg.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Invisibility.
Okay, why would you say that?
I cannot comment more. Don't take it on the wrong side, but invisibility will help me to be at the places and learn new stuff
Yeah.
that I know I cannot or experience. Invisibility gives you all other superpowers actually. It will cover up all the the things where you're gonna spend money or have experiences or be at the places. It's much
Hmm.
much much expandable.
So describe Canada in one word or a sentence.
Golden cage.
Very interesting. Okay. So lastly, Parul, if you could leave me with one piece of advice, what would it be?
For you, I would say that I really appreciate your initiative. I think it is something that has much bigger mission that you believe, because I see
Hmm.
that you just started recently, and I was in the same stages when it comes to content creation. It's very impactful, and I really encourage you to stick to it. Trust your instincts. You have started with maybe some mission, but it is going to make a wider impact, and again, if it changes one person's life, this all is going to be
Hmm.
very worth it. So continue with it. Good job. I really like it. I'm going to get involved with it more now. I'm going to talk to you after this. So yep, congratulations. This is great, Gracis. I really appreciate.
Thank you. Thank you, Parul, for your kind words. And thank you for being on the podcast and adding value to my listeners. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, listener, thank you for making it to the end. I highly, highly appreciate you listening the podcast. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't as yet, and please share with your friends or anybody you think would like it. And like I always say, we encourage you to follow your heart, but also us on Instagram. The handle is mythicaccent. You can also leave us a review or write to us at hello@mythicaccent.com. So stay tuned and let's continue knowing each other beneath the accent.